This is Todd Wall of Aquatongue Media, and I wanted to discuss an article that I recently saw on thehill.com. And the title of the article is UAP Disclosure. UAP is, in this instance, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. That's what that acronym stands for. Not a sprint, it's a marathon, ex-Pentagon official, according to an ex-Pentagon official. A Pentagon insider has come forward with allegations about UFOs. He believes there could be natural explanation for the phenomena. The Pentagon itself denies Elizondo's job involved UAP research. And so just to give a little more color on who we're talking about here, a couple days ago a book was published. This is the listing on Amazon.com, and the title of the book is Imminent, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs. The former head of the program responsible for investigating UAPs reveals profound secrets. And so that's who we're talking about. A lot of this is precipitated by the fact the book was published, and so some of these interviews are obviously focused around that, getting some PR out there. The description of this individual in the Amazon profile is as follows: the former head of the Pentagon program responsible for the investigation of UFOs, now known as unidentified anomalous phenomena. I call them aerial. I guess they're anomalous now. They keep changing. Reveals long-hidden secrets with profound implications for not only national security, but our understanding of the universe. And they go into a little more detail about who Lou Elizondo is. It's noteworthy because as we go through this article, and we'll see, the Pentagon is later kind of dismissing him, or sort of kind of diminishing his stature a little bit, his standing, to kind of, cause questions about his credibility. So the article begins on July 26, 2023. Navy pilot Ryan Graves, Navy Commander David Fravor, and former Air Force Intelligence Officer David Grush testified at a congressional hearing heard around the world. So that was July 26, 2023. So a little more than a year ago this occurred. This was a very famous hearing at the time, basically in front of a congressional committee. David Grush primarily was front and center, and he was essentially testifying that there was, non-human intelligence, perhaps non-human biologics, I think is the term that he used, and non-human, aircraft of a non-human origin that had been retrieved, or portions of which had been retrieved. So it was the article continues, it was a profound moment for former Pentagon official Lou Elizondo to hear Grush speak publicly about an alleged multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. You had 3 military personnel testifying on the reality of UAP, Elizondo said. Now that's historic. It did feel historic at the time. These videos, there's videos, TikTok videos, some of these other videos have slowly gotten released to the public over the years, but this hearing, certainly the prominence of the hearing, the fact that it was occurring in front of congressional testimony, it seemed like a very big deal at the time. And it's interesting reading this article now, because it's interesting that more didn't come out of it. And I think that this article is about to hint at that. So first, the Office of Secretary of Defense All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, denied Grush's claims. Then, as happened with Elizondo, details about Grush's past began to surface. They start seeking dissension, and they start misinformation and trying to question his loyalty, his credibility, Elizondo said. They're referring to Grush now. And they try to discredit him just like they try to do to me, just like they try to do anyone else who comes out and steps out of rank. Reports of citing police records obtained through public records requests noted that Grush was committed to a mental health facility after making a suicidal statement when his wife suggested he seek help. It's interesting. It's sort of cast as, the shadowy government agency sort of attempting to undermine, after this public testimony had occurred, attempting to undermine the credibility of Grush. But in fact, if he had made suicidal statements and did in fact had to get committed to a mental health facility. That is pretty serious, and that is kind of unusual. And fortunately or unfortunately, that probably does, his reputation and credibility probably does. Grush, now we're talking about his reputation and credibility does take a little bit of hit as a result of that. In spite of that, Grush retained his security clearance. He later elaborated on his mental health struggles and told News Nation it was hard coming home from Afghanistan and dealing with the loss of a friend. Meanwhile, AARO publicly declared it has no evidence to support claims of a government UAP retrieval program. UAPs captured on viral videos remain unidentified. The Pentagon says AARO will follow the data wherever it leads, but hasn't found credible evidence of extraterrestrial activity. The Pentagon released a report in March saying there is no evidence of aliens or any cover-up of UFOs or aliens. Elizondo said he questions the credibility of the report's author, former AARO director Sean Kirkpatrick. So here you have basically the Pentagon coming out and saying there's no credible evidence of what all these people are talking about. This is just crazy conspiracy talk. There's been no cover-up. There has not been the cover-up. There is no cover-up ongoing. And Elizondo, who basically wrote this book, he's basically saying the credibility of that person is in question. What I can tell you is that he was saying, what I can tell you is that what he was saying is not consistent with the truth, Elizondo said. And when someone like that blatantly tells you something that is not true, you've got a serious credibility problem, meaning they have a serious credibility problem. Elizondo said members of Congress stated for the record they don't believe Kirkpatrick was truthful, and the Director of National Intelligence did not endorse his report to Congress. In response, Kirkpatrick told News Nation, "At no time did I provide false information to Congress. In fact, my team and I provide actual evidence to back up all of our findings and research, something that all the other claimants have failed to do." And so I'm not going to continue through the remainder of this article. I thought it was interesting. There is a book out there, and so it's noteworthy that this book is out there. We are seeing in the past couple days news articles that are kind of talking about this subject once again after it had gone dormant for some months. And primarily the reason for that is obviously the publication of this person's book. He's doing interviews, and so now this subject has resurfaced. But I think it's interesting. I'd be interested in knowing what anyone thinks in the comment section below. So please, any comments you have, please add them to the comment section below, and consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. Thanks.